A Goodbye Handshake by Ted Kooser.
Though you in your nursing home are miles behind me now, your hand with its dark blue age spots is here in my hand, your fingers warm from all the hot steel handles they held in your 88 years. Levers of threshing machines, of sickle bar mowers and balers, but cooling now and slowly going all blue-black over brown, like a pool of blue oil on the floor of a barn, that darkened on the wheelchair armrest, easing over your heart like a shadow. 100 miles down the road, stopped by the highway and sitting in shade at the edge of a shimmering cornfield, I say goodbye. I am headed both farther and further than you, Ira Friedling. With love, I take you by your blue-black hand, which has held nearly everything once and has squeezed it shyly and politely.
Glenn Rutledge, an editor to the Lincoln Journal-Star. On August 12, 2004, Kooser was named the 13th Poet Laureate of the United States of America and the Librarian of Congress to serve a term from October 2004 through May 2005. In April of 2005, Kooser was selected to serve another term as Poet Laureate. While he was in office, Kooser received the Pulitzer Prize for his collection of poems entitled Delights and Shadows. Today, Kooser lives in Garland, Nebraska, and writes much of his poetry about the Great Plains of Nebraska. He has finished his professional career in poetry and only now works on a weekly column in the Lincoln Journal-Star. His awards include the Pushcart Prize, the Nebraska Book Award for Poetry, the Stanley Kuntis Prize, and the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry. Ted Kooser is quite possibly the most famous poet of all time.
Devices. This poem is in narrative form and it is telling the story of the man. This poem contains many similes and metaphors such as the elbow is sharp as a plowshare and easing your heart like a shadow. This poem contains symbols. Some of those are the hand and the farm in the poem. Personification in this poem includes darkness working its way up into the cuff of your new plaid shirt up past your elbow. For imagery, we found some passages such as the dark blue H-spots and a pool of blue oil on the floor barn. This poem has repetition because it uses the word blue-black many times throughout this story. The poem has a meter and pacing of starting out slow and calm, then it gets faster and faster as the poem goes on, then it gets really slow when he says that someone has just died. The poem has a mood of sadness, but then it also has happiness when he describes many memories they had together. This poem also uses some alliteration and consonants when it says blue, black, brown, and sitting in the shade. As a whole group, we put all of our ideas together and created one big interpretation. We thought that this poem was about an old couple who lived on a farm together. When the wife died, the husband started having fond memories of her because the process of losing her was hard and painful. He had memories about what she looked like, personality, and what they did together. He tells the audience how much he loves and misses her. We thought that the poem was about life and how it can slip away quickly and how the young have different perspectives on life than the old do. We thought that the tone of this poem was happy when the author describes how the many of the memories they had together, but it puts us as readers in a sad mood that he lost his wife. We thought that the tone of this poem was happy when the author describes many of the memories they had together, but it puts us as readers in a sad mood that he lost his wife.
Jared said, I think this poem, which is very sentimental and depressing, is about someone who is losing the love of his life due to death, and this process is difficult for him. The mood that this poem puts me in is sad because he tells us that he just lost his wife. Caleb said, I think the lesson of this poem is about how life can slip away quickly and how the young look at life differently than the old do. I think the tone of this poem is calm and also has happiness. The author puts the reader in a sad mood. Ellie says, I think this poem is about an old man who is having fond memories of his wife, and the process of losing her is painful. The poem describes how much the husband misses her. I think the mood of this poem brings joy to the readers when he talks about how much he misses her. Kinsley says, I think this poem is about an old couple who lives on a farm. When the wife died, the husband started having fond memories of her. The author describes what she looked like, acted like, her personality, and what they did together. He tells the audience his feelings and reactions towards her, and he tells us how much he loves and misses her.
This poem is about all the hardships and events that the author has been through in his life. It's about many of his family members. He ties in his relationships with many of his family members into one poem.